Next, we will try to expose the MCP server we just created for a real AI client like, let's say, Claude Code. In order to add it in Claude Code, we should expose firstly the application through HTTP tunnel. You can do that using your own tools like ngrok or expose. I will use herd share command. This will create an exposed tunnel, and I will have the application on this URL. You also have this nice debugging console. Let me show it here. So we can see exactly what's coming from the AI MCP client, okay? Since I have that URL prepared, I will test it in Postman first. It ping to that server, but it doesn't work because we have a multi-tenancy application over here, and we need to inform the server who the actual tenant is. We can do that in many ways, it depends on your application context, but here we will create a simple middleware to convert the URL query params into an actual tenant and user. Basically, I want to send the tenant from here, okay? And to be honest, this is the easiest way to expose it for an MCP client, because you only have the URL, you don't need a bearer token, nothing. You have the tenant, and then you need to provide the token, authorization token, let's call it token. And the token I can copy from the previous call is the Sanctum token. You can also generate your own tokens and create your own middlewares for sure. It won't work still because we don't have the middleware. I'll create it now. Middleware. I use Laravel ID here. Perfect. And let me copy this code from here. Token. This logic shows if I have the token either in the request or as a bearer, and I don't have it as a bearer token, then I want to set it as authorization bearer token. If the authentication provides bearer token, it will still work because it won't jump into this if. Alright, organization, check. If we don't have the multi-tenancy, the tenant present, we check it into the request. We identify it. Organization, query, where subdomain is included. You might ask if this is safe, and yes, it's safe, because if you provide a foreign tenant over here, we will make it active, but this user will not have access to it, okay? Because later in the app we check if the user has access to the certain organization. You can do your own logic over there. Let's now take this URL and add it as an MCP server to Claude. The syntax is like this: Claude MCP add. Then you provide the name of the HTTP server. Let's call it Restify Kit locally. I will do the Restify Kit locally, so it shows up first. You can provide a scope user if you want to make it global. If you provide nothing, it will be at the project level. Next, we need to specify what the transport is. Transport HTTP in our case, and insert the URL like so. It shows that it modified the Claude JSON file. Now if I will open Claude and list MCP servers, we can see that it was connected, and I will show you in the browser that it did this request, and the handshaking, it listed the tools, it listed prompts, resources, and this initialized. All right, perfect. If I go into it, I can see available tools. and their description. Let's try to test it out. Show me the list of organizations from Restify Kit. It will check available tools. It identified this one, and yes, I can allow it to be used. You see it did the request. I can see the request here as well. Tool call organization index tool with no arguments for now. Okay, that's the output and the data. Amazing. So it worked just like that. If you want to enable a new tool or you do some changes in the code, that's fine. It will work. But if you expose a new tool, like say for example you want to expose store, the MCP server MCP client don't see that change. Okay, you need to go with escape, you go back and you do reconnect, so it does the handshaking once again. And now in list of tools we have the store tool with their definition. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.